Just going out for a walk. I'm moored up in Babakale, and this is one of the straits going into the Bosphorus, the Dardanelles, which is about 40 miles north or to the right of the screen. I can just see a tanker in the distance. I don't know whether you can see it. I'll zoom in a bit. Probably not. Yeah, the trouble is they see the winds against. It's coming from the right of the screen to the left, and I'm going, as you can imagine, to the right. So the idea tomorrow is to sail straight ahead from where we are now, and there's a little Greek island about 40 nautical miles. I'm going to sail, tack all the way over to there tomorrow, anchor up in a bay, and then tack all the way back into the Bosphorus. So that's the plan tomorrow. Anyway, I'll just sort of bit out for a bit of exercise. I'm not going to get any for the next 2 days. Been stuck on the boat. But yesterday was a bit eventful. I was caught in a bit of a squall, and my head sail was 3/4 out. I couldn't get it back in because it was so strong, the wind. And eventually I got it back in, but it's ripped at the foot again. Same place where it went last time. So I'm going to have to be careful with that sail for the future. I can't use it in heavy winds anymore. But I should have used my stay sail and the main, which is what I'm going to do from now on. But yeah, nice little spot. Not much here though, it's only a little village. There's a cafe and a little shop that sells the usual junk food and water and beer. Nothing healthy. So I've had to move once already today. I got shouted at by my next door neighbour, his fellow yachty, who had nicked one of his lazy lines. Well, there wasn't enough. All the others were broken, so he didn't need it. He already had one. You only need one in there. Well, no, I was having none of it, so I had to move to the other side of the bay. And then I went and caught some fishing lines, so they were up in arms about that. And then the Turkish wedding turned up right on my doorstep. So, yeah, it's been an eventful day today. Anyway, see how we go. Okay, still at Babakale. This is the harbour. There's Gypsy. This is where I had to move to. I was over there previously. See that gap between those boats? That's where I was, but I got moved from there because I was nicking his mooring line. So I've ended up here, and this guy in the white van, he's a fisherman, and he's got lines all along this quay. So I ended up going over a couple of them, so he wasn't too happy about that. Excuse me. One thing about this area of Turkey is the amount of flies that are here. And I must have swatted countless many, because if you swat one fly, 500 turn up for the funeral. It's crazy, but I noticed why. See these bins? There's millions of flies in these bins, and they don't close them up or empty them on a regular basis. I think that's what the cause of them is. But I'll be glad to get out to there's the harbour entrance. These guys have just turned up. I think they're just fishermen again. But I'll be glad to get out on the open sea tomorrow. No more flies. This is a Turkish wedding. Morning, it's 6:30 on a Sunday morning. I've been on the go since 4 o'clock this morning. Left Babakale in the dark. But now I'm trying to get to there. That's the Bosphorus, Dardanelles. And there's a war cemetery here that I want to go and visit. But the wind's blowing this way. And obviously it's too much for me to motor into. So I'm going to tack across to, I think it's the island of Mudros. I'm going to get staying there for the night. Should be there about 10 to 3. I'm doing about 4.5 knots on sail. Let's see what's going on out here. I think the sun's only just risen. And there's 10 knots of wind. I've got all the sails up. Taking all the reefs out of the main, so I've got a full main up. And I've got both the cutter rig and the mainsail. You see it on the where the sheet joins the head sail there. See that little bit of material sticking out? Well, that's where it came apart the other day when they got caught in a storm. So I need to fix that. Heeling over a bit, but it's not too bad. So the wind's between 8.5 and 10.5 knots. I think if it starts getting up to 11 knots, I'm going to pull the head sail in to give it a chance to. I don't want that stitching coming apart. It's quite comfortable so far. There's Babakale where I've just left. In that direction, that's the Bosphorus, the Dardanelles, Gallipoli and all that. And that way is Mudros. So I'll stay there for the night and then tack across to the Dardanelles tomorrow. Okay, here's another update. Earlier I showed you when I left this port here, I forget the name of it, Babakale, that was it, and I was heading on a beam reach or close reach heading for Mudros, but I got to here and the wind turned. It's blowing this way now, north westerly, so I've tacked and I'm heading for this little island called Botscarda. So yeah, it's not too bad, doing 3.5 knots on a port tack. So I've put it there as an anchorage, but I've just looked online, there's a cracking little marina at the north of it. Everybody's raving about it, and they're using it, all the yachties are using it for a jump off point for going into the Canaclay Straits. Now this Canaclay Straits, this is the Bosphorus, the Dardanelles, where the British Allied forces tried to invade Turkey back in 1915, and that goes all the way up to Istanbul. Now, as you can imagine, this here is a traffic separation zone, which means, as I've showed you in videos before, lots and lots of oil tankers, and they're all lined up all around here, loads of them. In fact, the last time I saw anything as bad as this, or congested, was in Gibraltar, and I had to weave in between them all on the engine. So I'll just go up top now and I can show you what's happening up top. Okay, hang on to the rigging. There we go, so we'll zoom in. There, all the way along there, and they're all coming in from the horizon. So that's there, that land, this land here. Show it. You see that landmass in the distance, that's Botscarda. I'm just going to the right of it. So I've packed away my head sail. With it being on a port tack, that loose bit of sail hanging off the clue was really starting to flop about, and I don't want to lose this sail. So I've just got my stay sail out. That's my storm sail. That's saved my life a few times. And I've got the main up. I've taken all the reefs out now, so I've got full main up. It's only been about 9 knots on the port beam. So try and get to this marina tonight. Should be there for about 5 o'clock. See what all the fuss is about. Just visiting the local markets in Bozgada. These are all jams. I've just bought some raspberry jam from an earlier stall. So I'll give that a try in the morning. Just on a bit of an exploration mission. So this town's all about, highly recommended from all the yachties. They all love staying here before they go into Istanbul. So it's a lovely little place, it really is. I'm well impressed. After some of the hellholes I've been to the last couple of days, with flies and fishermen shouting at you. God, they like the jam here, don't they? Look at it all. Morning, 7 o'clock, Tuesday morning. Heading for the Dardanelles, just left Botskada. It's no wind, which is why I set off so early. Wind really picks up in the afternoon. Yeah, I'm on the engine. Been no sailing for a while. You're not allowed to sail up the Dardanelles. The Coast Guard come out and tell you to put them down, apparently. And just gonna, as soon as I get in the Dardanelles, just keep to starboard because there's currents in there against you. So hopefully, I won't have too bad because my engine is not the most powerful. But yeah, it's pretty flat out here. There's a few tankers about, nothing much to worry about. But I'm heading for Kemer. I was going to go to the war graves, but I'm talking to a Turkish couple last night, and they've told me to just, while the winds are calm, is just go straight up the Dardanelles as fast as I can. I'll call at the war graves on the way back in a couple of weeks. Okay, so I've entered the Dardanelles and I've got some dolphins following me, as they do sometimes, and just taking a picture of the coast, and that's the war memorial you can see on the hillside for the Allied landings in World War I. So yeah. Welcome to Kemer near Çanakkale in Turkey. It's taken me all day to get here on the engine because you're constantly there's no wind for the next few days, so it's the best time to get up the Dardanelles, which is what I've been doing. There's the fishing harbour that you can go in, but it's a bit dodgy. And the wind's picked up a bit, so I don't really want to go and try and do a stern to in there tonight. I'll just put the anchor down there somewhere, but I overshot it a bit and anchored in 1 metre under the keel, which was, it's a bit close to the bone, that. So obviously I'll let it drift back with the wind, so we're a lot further away, so I'm in 6 metres now. So I'll just have to be careful when I lift the anchor in the morning, because the last 2 mornings I've been doing early starts. Because it's so hot here. It's like 34 degrees Celsius, and it's not been windy, so it's like an oven. So as soon as I drop the anchor, I'll go out swimming and just to check the anchor, but it's full of jellyfish down there. And I know they're only tiny, but they still sting. And the last thing I want is being hot and bothered at night. Can't get any sleep with jellyfish stings, so that ain't happening. So yeah, it's another long journey tomorrow. I'm going to try and get to some islands about 30 odd miles from here, and I'll anchor up there tomorrow night, so that because some big winds on Friday against me, so I want to be somewhere comfortable. I can get ashore easily enough with get some more food in. I've got plenty of food in. Over there, that's a coal-fired power station, generating electricity. So yeah, it's a quiet little place. So yeah, I'm going to try and get away to these islands tomorrow, anchor up there for a couple of days, wait for the wind to die down, or maybe even turn, and I can get on a beam reach and go to Yalova Marina, which is nearer to Istanbul. But Istanbul and the Bosphorus and the Black Sea are my goals. So once I got there, I can relax a bit and start making my way back through the Dardanelles. But I can do it slow time then because the wind's behind me. I can just stick the sails up. But going up the Dardanelles, it's like constant engine, which is not good really. Not when you're a sailor.